How was the rest of the weekend?
It was great.
It was good.
It was great.
All
Yeah.
right. Well, let me just say, I had an opportunity to go see the Adrian Dunn singers and the performance over at the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra on Friday night.
Was that
No,
the
Saturday
play?
night.
The,
No, the singing.
oh,
They
okay.
were actually taping a PBS special,
Hmm.
so it was kind of crazy because um, we somebody said not free ball. Yes,
Yeah,
completely,
she uses that word
completely.
rather loosely. Just like wow.
I'm just saying, I could have chosen a different word, but that's the first one that came to mind. And let me say, hey, Adeline, good morning, sis. What's happening, Shelby? Yeah, y'all. I'm sorry. It is what
What
it is.
was Black Nativity here this weekend?
I don't know. I know, obviously it is a holiday, staple. But I do not know. So let me look and see. Black
I think it was
Nativity,
Saturday.
Milwaukee, Ninth Annual by Langston Hughes at the Marcus Center.
I think it was Saturday.
December 5th was the
Oh,
community. Well, no, that was the community night. I love community nights. I will remind people if you don't know what they are. Most theater productions has what's known as community night,
mm,
which is a pay what you can night. So
mm,
typically if these tickets are 25, 45, $65 to be able to see a play on, the thought is that no one should be excluded from having the opportunity to see these productions. So usually like on a Tuesday night, some Tuesday, Wednesday night, they'll do a pay what you can, or they call it a community night. And so it's just a donation. So you
now,
can,
now, in essence, is that basically a dress rehearsal for them?
no, it's a regular play.
So you're gonna get
It's,
the
you're
full.
going to get the full Monty. It's a regular performance. But like I said, they just try to make it available so that, like on this community night, the tickets were $25, but they do have, like I said, the pay what you can nights.
Mm,
So yeah, so it's over because it ran December 5th through December 8th. I
okay.
haven't been to Black Nativity in a minute. I'm one of those persons too. Once I see something, I don't go back.
Mm.
Like I don't
Because that's
watch.
an annual piece where they're
Yeah,
basically doing the same production.
it's an annual deal. Um, but yep. So went to go see the Adrian Dunn singers, and he was an interesting kind of cat. First of all, the venue was packed. Uh, Saw some of our listeners there. It was a
Great,
pleasure. They came
great.
over and introduced themselves, and met a rock star young lady, high school student, just getting accepted to colleges left and right. It was nothing short of cool. Talking to her, her mom had been texting me on election day because she was going to vote for the first time,
I
and her
remember
name is
that.
Madison.
I remember.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't she go to New Berlin? Not New Berlin.
Pious.
Yes, I'm
Yeah,
over.
she goes
Yeah.
to Pius. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's Pius. But this little baby was a rock star. Just applying to, like colleges. She's heard back from 7 so far, has gotten into like Columbia,
Mm,
University of Alabama, just all kinds of top-notch schools. I know she's trying to go to NYU. She wants to be in a career, yeah, I think in acting,
mm.
theater, production kind of thing. So she a boss little sister, and I know she's applying for the King Fest scholarship. Her mom was coming up to pick up an application today, so that part was really really cool to meet her. But the performance by the Adrian Dunn singers. So first of all, his brother Kimblow, I think it was LaQuentin was his name. There was a celloist from Milwaukee. I believe it was a cellist from Milwaukee. Brother was bad. There was some singers from Milwaukee. They were amazing. So Milwaukee was represented, but it was interesting because this is going to air on PBS. I think like on December 20 something. I'll get the date. So they came out and they said, the first thing this woman came out, I'm from PBS, we're recording, and we need to do applause. And we were like, okay, what's happening? So she would take the audience up and down in applause, so it's just like start off low and then just get to a roaring. So we did that like a couple times. That actually ended up being kind of, interesting to see that piece. So I
Mhm.
guess they plug it in where needed. And then the performance went on and he, kind of talked a little bit in between each performance. But then there was a point where evidently he didn't like the way one of the songs went off or there was a glitch or something happened. So they sung the same song twice. So that ended up being interesting. Like, oh, okay.
And that's because they were recording, so they
Yes.
want to be sure they got the clips in.
Yep. Yep. So, um, but the one thing that I liked, he said, we don't do covers. All of the music is original music that he had composed and written. And he talked about it was like this interesting moment because crowd predominantly white,
Uh,
but this interesting moment when he talked about like this music being American music, being Black music, and Black people's influences on the genre of opera and classical music. And he like ran down this laundry list of names. And I was, me, I'm looking at the audience to see the reaction. So it was kind
they
of
trying to start
interesting.
some shit.
I was not trying to start what? I was not trying to start nothing.
Looking around
I
here.
just was looking
I wish
around,
my would.
looking around. But what I did appreciate, we had two little girls. A white mom had brought her babies. They were all dressed up
Mhm.
for holiday dresses. I'm talking about the full Monty, looked so pretty. And they were there. And then I looked around. It was like a lot of people had brought children. So I love that. And that's what I was saying my mom used to do for me around the holidays. We would go to Rockefeller Center, see shows. And they were traditions. So it was cool. So I enjoyed the performance. Um, One sister in particular, Lord have mercy, that woman clown. I mean, when I say she got down,
Mhm.
she showed out. So it was good though. So that was mine, and then the
You,
rest
you
when it
didn't you
got.
didn't you didn't sing.
I'm sorry.
They didn't ask you on stage.
Why would they be doing that?
They didn't know.
Like, let me be clear. I barely got there because I went to go get Rep Myers from Minnesota on Saturday.
Hmm.
And so by the time we got there and got back, the show started at 7:30. We hit the city at 6:45.
Wow.
And so literally we dropped in the house, dropped bags off, and walked right. Like I didn't even change to go to the show. I was like, I'm about to look like Wisconsin, because like some of these Wisconsin people go to shows looking like they about to go to the grocery store. So I just
We don't talk about our constituents.
I'm just saying, like some people don't make no effort
You
at
didn't see any
all.
bonnets or anything like
I
that, right?
no, this is not a bonnet crowd,
Okay.
no bonnets. But so yeah, we just got off the highway and literally turned around and walked
Right.
straight into the theater. And I had not been in the Milwaukee Symphony Orchestra venue.
Mhm.
Oh my God.
They're still in the PAC.
It is 212 West Wisconsin Avenue. So it's across the street.
I'm thinking Uline Hall or something like that. They used to
Mm-mm.
play at the
Yeah,
PAC.
no, no, no. Oh my God, this venue is spectacular. I mean, literally, I just kept looking up and looking at all of the boxes, uh the seating. I mean, the most ornate. It was beautiful.
Mhm.
And like I said, I had never been here, so now I got to find other reasons to go. The Warner Theater, thanks Rep Myers. That's what it's called, the Warner Theater. It is stunning. It's
Rep
like
Myers, keep your eyes on the road. No texting for you, not while driving.
She said MSO purchased it and rehabbed it.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you have got to go in there.
All right.
It is an incredible, incredible
Maybe
venue.
maybe I should book the band in there, put my band in there. What you think?
Yeah,
You think
let's
that?
not.
You don't think? You don't think? Really, Carvey? What you
she
saying, Carvey?
said I'm part Negro.
Oh, okay, good, good, good.
Carvey, what you say?
You know, you would
we gonna
think
add the MSO to the chitlin circuit.
you would think when people are recovering that they would be nice. But she threatened me this morning that she was gonna put Jermaine on me this afternoon. And it's like nothing's changed here. I thought, I miss you, Rep Myers, and I'm glad you're back and recovering well and coming this way. But
What you
don't be
say?
threatening me. I'm feeling some kind of way this morning already.
Really? Are you?
No response, please.
some- somebody said, "Tell him it's an all glass front." That building is stunning. So yep. So that was my weekend. The rest of it was dragging them holiday decorations
What's in the
about.
vicinity? Because when you say 212 Wisconsin Avenue, I'm trying to
So right
envision that.
across the street, kind of from the old Grand. What is that now? Third Street.
Third Street Market.
Yeah, it's right across the street from that.
Hmm.
Because we walked back through that building to get back to the parking lot. It used to be the Grand Avenue Movie Theater.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So then it's actually on the north side of the street.
Yes.
Yeah, I was thinking it was on the other side. Okay.
So it was actually really, really cool. I like I said, I just was blown away. The work that they did, nothing short of amazing. I felt like I was in Chicago because they had valet parking for $35. I was like, oh, for real? And I'm mad because we had paid to park across the street and walk. And that was $25. I was like, man, y'all could have had that 35.
That little extra 10.
I'm just saying, I have to go get my car. Yeah. Y'all could have had that. But so it was great. It was great. And then other than that, getting all of the Christmas stuff pulled out. And I mean, I was still working on it. My goal is to be done.
By Christmas Day.
Yep. 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 I've gotten halfway done. Oh my God.
But you've had a lot on your plate, so in your defense, I certainly understand. I mean, you've been up and down the highway and still trying to facilitate 2 shows a day over here and just all the things that you do. So certainly we understand.
So
no, see, when I try to be concerned and compassionate,
how you can make something sound so janky,
so disingenuous.
Okay, and we're gonna be formal about it. Yes, disingenuous. It's amazing. The words are the right words,
right?
But the delivery,
so why can't it be from my heart?
So janky. You would know from the heart.
It's from my heart, Michelle. I certainly.
You so bogus,
again,
man.
What do I always tell you? You say, well, I don't know. Go do this, and I say, well, be safe, take care of yourself. These things are from my heart. I mean that when I say that to you. I tell Carvey every weekend, be safe, don't do nothing crazy. See you back here Monday.
But we believe you. We believe you on that. I'm talking about when you talk to me.
Why can't I mean it when I talk to you?
Whatever.
Michelle, you are a...
Hey, bruh, we got a phone
sweetheart.
call.
Sweetheart, you are. I watch how you...
We got a phone call.
How you...
go to the phone.
They hung up.
Oh, they hung up.
Because they were going to say the same thing I was saying just now.
Somebody take the compliment. Don't we?
She don't even know how to take a compliment, It's like you can't
because it's not a compliment, y'all.
It really is.
Sarah, it's not a compliment. He is in here. You are. First of all, I'm looking at him with his raggedy behind. It's not a compliment. No, Debo is the devil. I am not playing. I mean,
it warms my heart, Michelle.
Does it? You got to have one first.
When I see you interact and how you,
my heart.
You do so much for this community.
She said, "Take the compliment."
Yes, please take.
I would take it if it was real. Ain't nobody crazy.
Okay, I'm gonna stop complimenting you.
Yeah, please do. Please do, because
you have no faith in me that I can be sincere.
None. All right. So I said everyone can change. Prayers work.
Yeah, they do. Please pray for me.
Folks talking about you. All right. So before I go to break, is y'all house done for Christmas? Y'all got trees up?
We were supposed to put the tree up yesterday. And we didn't get to it. We'll do it today. When I get out of here, we'll go home and get the tree up and figure out.
Do you do other stuff? I mean, is it lights outside?
No, I'm not doing none of that. My light bill be sky high. You know what Grandma used to say.
Really?
Ain't no damn lights out there.
They don't cost that much. It's not a major expense.
Yeah, I never do. We used to.
You used to
we
do
don't
have lights outside?
We don't have kids in the home anymore. It's just the wife and I. Really, we're kind of like empty nesters.
Oh, oh, okay.
Well, I mean, I got my granddaughter Dream and my youngest daughter, but Dream not even two. She won't know none of this. So maybe next year I'll start doing lights outside and really go goofy. But I got the big 6 foot big tree and the whole nine. I mean, we do some garland around this and some over there, and some little figurines and some statues and all them old Christmas cards
Some
that
of that
people
over
send.
there, because people
I
don't
pull
send
them back
Christmas
out.
cards no
I pull
more.
them back out and set them around on the table like somebody
Yeah,
that just sent them
like
this year.
somebody really like you.
I recycle them every year. Yeah.
I mean, I literally was just because in fact, I need to get mine out because people don't do Christmas cards anymore. Like people be sending me these Christmas cards.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I don't want that.
Right.
I can't do nothing with your Christmas card.
Yep. Those get
Somebody
packed
said
up every year.
Debo is the newest crunchy. What is it?
What?
Hold on.
What?
The crunchy co-worker, and please do not book the band at the MSO.
We saying I order.
I love. They said don't bring the band to the MSO.
Wow,
let's go to the phone line. See who on here. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Yes, ma'am. Excuse me. Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh boy, ain't had my orange juice, so I'm in a rough way. So, good morning, Carvey. Good morning, Debo. Good morning, Miss Michelle.
Hey, bro.
Good morning, Milwaukee. Tyrone W. speaking. I just wanted to let you know I agree with both of you to a certain degree. Debo right though. If compliment is compliment, but if I know you're busy too, Michelle. I really do. But it reminded me of Dr. Bob. Take a pay. Dr. Bob took care of business, bringing in all the action like staple singers and everybody. Stylistics. Harold Melvin, the Blue Note. So he was, and plus he was DJing. He had his own show too. So he MC'd and all that stuff. But Dr. Bob took care of business. But Dr. Bob partied hard though, boy. Dr. Bob, Dr. Bob would get dressed clean to the wall, boy. Dr. Bob would party, boy. But he didn't want you talking about his little hairpiece though. But Dr. Bob partied. So take the compliment as it is.
You know you're wrong.
Why you mention the hair? Why you mention his hair, man?
Oh, well, I mean, Dr. Bob was clean, but Dr. Bob wasn't Denzel either. Though.
Well, you throwing shade and giving a compliment. Yes, you are. You brought up a toupee and then said he ain't no Denzel. How is this a compliment?
Real, man.
You know what? You done messed up the whole thing.
His name was Horace, man. His name was Horace.
What kind of call is this? What kind of call? Oh, you know what? Tyrone W., you out of order. You gonna give a compliment. Look, he hung up on himself. How you give a compliment and throw shade at the same time? Why would you bring up a hairpiece?
Yeah, he worked hard, but he didn't want you talking about that hairpiece.
Did he have a hairpiece?
Yeah, well. You'll never say I said.
Okay.
Debo said.
Well, here's the question: is it wrong to have a hairpiece?
No, it's not, Carvey. Why are your mic not on,
mic on, Carvey?
What happened? Wait, try it again.
I was saying it's wrong to have a hairpiece.
You don't think why?
Carvey.
Because
because what?
Girls wear hairpieces.
Who?
Girls.
Wear hairpieces.
Okay, so let's word it differently because maybe you're responding to the word. What about a toupee?
Still a hairpiece.
But Carvey, let me ask you a question. So you remember George Jefferson? You got all his hair around the sides and everything. Yeah. So is it inappropriate then to just set your little rug up top and fix that in and make it blend in and people won't be the wiser? See, that's not wrong.
It's not wrong, but it's embarrassing.
Now, I don't know for sure. I just told my wife the other day, I said, look at that guy on the news right there. I said, I think that's a hairpiece.
What? Why are y'all worried about
I'm going to tell you his name off the mic.
Don't tell me. Who? Oh, that's not a hairpiece.
You sure?
Yeah, that ain't no hairpiece.
Look,
why is the phone lit up? What?
It looks suspect to me.
No, I don't think that's a hairpiece. He just got crazy. Just got crazy hair.
Okay. You want to go to the phone line?
Go to the phone line. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Okay, that one's gone. Let's try this one.
Hey, caller, what's happening?
Hey, Michelle. This is your boy Yusef down in Racine.
What's going on, Yusuf? How you doing this morning, bro?
A little sad today. I'm calling to share a public service announcement.
Okay.
So on Friday evening, my cousin, 44-year-old Dwayne Carr, was fatally struck by a vehicle driven by a 19-year-old girl
I saw
on
that on the
Memorial
news.
Drive in Racine.
Right.
That's the residential area. It was at night. People need to slow down, particularly in residential neighborhoods where they know people are walking. This girl was a young. We don't know her name, but she did. She left the scene, but she did call the police there shortly afterwards, and so I don't know if they're going to charge her or anything. But please, folks, cars are not weapons, but they're being used as weapons, and sometimes we forget when we're driving throughout our day, rushing to get somewhere, that, a vehicle can kill someone, and it did on Friday down here in Racine. So please pray for my family, my cousin Teresa. Teresa Carr is her son, and there is a tremendous loss in the Racine community. His name was Dwayne the God, KP the God Carr. Thank you.
Thank you, Yusuf.
Thank
And
you.
let me just say how much I'm sorry to hear about the loss of your family member. I actually did see that on the news this morning. The young lady, 19 years old. This happened down, they said, the 600 block of North Memorial Drive. And the young lady, so they said that around 6:31 p.m., according to the Racine Police Department, he was struck by the vehicle. When officers arrived, they found him lying between two parked vehicles by the curb and performed life-saving measures. He was transported to the hospital where he died. They said shortly after, dispatch received a call from a 19-year-old female who said she hit someone in the 600 block of North Memorial Drive. The young woman was picked up, transported to the police department to be interviewed. And they said at the time of the story, when this was posted, they couldn't confirm if an arrest had been made, but people will continue to wait to see what happens. She certainly, I don't know what the circumstances were in the accident. I have no idea. And I'm sure hopefully there is, camera footage from the intersection that can show what happened. But I'm just going to tell you, I do value the fact that she came back. That she called the police and turned herself in, because far too often, people won't do anything. I messed up.
What makes you think that, or what? Why do you think she left the scene?
I mean, it could be
Initially.
it could be
It's
any number of
fear,
reasons. Fear. I mean, you're
adrenaline.
19 years old.
Yeah.
You're 19 years old. So I don't know how long you had your license.
Mhm.
And particularly if you realize you hit somebody and potentially is fatal.
Mhm.
I mean, fear. I've had people leave the scene of accidents that I was involved in. I know one guy, he left because he had been drinking.
Mhm.
And so he actually was not far from his house. He left his car and went to his house. So when the police got there, even though you could smell alcohol on the breath, they couldn't charge him with a DUI because he wasn't in the car when they got him.
Mhm.
And when I was talking to the officer, he said, ma'am, he said, let me just tell you how this could play out. He could say, I was so unnerved by it all, I came home and had a beer right away. So, you can't prove one way or the other.
He sounded like he had some experience with it.
Oh, yeah. And he worked for David Hobbs Honda back in the day.
Mhm.
He was a car salesman for David Hobbs Honda. So he knew.
Yeah, they
He
knew.
knew not to get caught up. But so I don't know. But I did I did see that. Unfortunately, didn't realize that was my man Yusuf's family member. So, he's right. We need to slow down. But as I say that, I got a speeding ticket coming back from Minnesota.
They finally got you, huh?
But I ain't got a speeding ticket in like 20 years. So I didn't even care.
That Benz was rolling, wasn't it?
Man, oh my God. Yeah, I was
You
driving
didn't even
Rep
realize
Myers.
you was doing all that.
I had literally just said it though, because I was driving Rep Myers Benz. And you can be doing 88 and don't even realize it. And so when I finally saw him sitting up on the bridge, me, Keisha, and Donna was in the car. I said, "Oh yeah, I just got caught." And they was like, "What?" I said, "Oh, don't worry about it." I said, "It ain't no big
coming. I
deal."
know he coming.
Yep, and he came on, got off the bridge, came on down. He rode behind me for a minute. Then he finally turned the lights on. And it was cool. He came up to the car. He said, "Ma'am," he said, "You know why I pulled you over?" Yeah. And he said, "You know how fast you was going?" I said, "I think about 78." He said, "Well, when I clocked you, you was going 86." I said, "Oh, okay." But I had my license already ready. Here you go. He took my license, asked for insurance. He came back. He said, I'm gonna drop that below 86 so that you not in the 16-point range because I was in a 70. And so it's
what's the difference? Points or
points and money.
forfeiture?
No. Points and money. I could have been like toying with that $500 to $700 range.
Oh yeah.
On that 16 above. So yeah, it was a hot mess. But the whole interaction, and then he even said,
you didn't name drop and throw a little weight around.
"Oh, I don't do no mess like that." I mean, when you wrong, you wrong. I said that's why I can't.
When you start that,
what I say all the time on this show, if I do something, I'm gonna own up
I'm
to.
just messing with you, Michelle.
When you wrong, you wrong. I was dead wrong, and I like. And I really did. By the time I looked at it, I was doing 78.
You didn't tell the man that you had the state representative in the car?
That don't mean nothing. Now, I could have got some sympathy points like, "Officer, we're coming back from the Mayo Clinic." And, I was just still so, I could have did all that. I was like, man, I had a ticket in 20 years. Take that ticket. And he lowered it. So I didn't get no, and I don't know. I don't think Wisconsin still accepts other people's tickets. I know for years we didn't. So I don't think it impacts me here. So yeah, I took one for the team. He was like, what he did, he said, "Nice car. Put that cruise control on." I said, "Okay, I got you." I was doing 88 before I pulled off.
Now that's where he was wrong.
Why?
Because that's not a car, that's an automobile.
My bad. Well, anyway, I caught a ticket. He said you should have got awarded. Why should I have got awarded? Man, I was doing 86. What the warning is, I could have gave you the max ticket. I ain't mad. I ain't mad at all because I was wrong. Let me go to.
Did you call him bruh?
That's a white boy. What I'm calling bruh for? But had it been a brother, I would have been like, "Hey, bro, I would have been like, "Hey, bro, what's happening?" So he looked in the car with like 3 women. You're like, these old ladies ain't doing nothing. So anyway,
you don't even know y'all was bringing back
trafficking. We was out here trafficking. Let me go to break. I'll be right back.
Hey, family. Holiday season and season.
The holidays. And holiday trips. And holiday toys. And holiday bonding. And it all comes together in a Chevrolet.
Find your red tag. Get 1.9% financing on all 2024 Silverado 1500 pickups. Plus, get $3,750 total value on this Silverado when you trade in an eligible vehicle.
What's up? It's Jamiroquai Killer with the Black Policy Initiative. I'm here at WNOV.
Yo, Jamiroquai. So, what's one thing you've learned this year that you're thankful for?
And one thing I learned that I'm thankful for is to not be prideful and to not think about myself all the time. I want to spend next year pouring into everybody else except for me, because when I give to others, it always come back.
Can you share a time when you share love to someone?
Man, every day.
Right.
I got a lot of people around me that help fuel my fire and help make me better. And I want to keep them around. I want to keep them energized because I need them. And so I try to give it back to them every single chance I get.
I'm Stephen Hopkins, Program Manager for Critical Response Team. I'm at WNOV right now.
So, Stephen, what's something simple that you're thankful for today?
Being alive and free.
One more question.
Yes, sir.
Is there something you're looking forward to this holiday season?
Seeing my loved ones and, spending some time with them.
Perfect.
UNLV, this your boy Jermaine Ryder, producer extraordinaire. What am I most thankful for? I am thankful for family, my kids, my loved ones, my mom and dad, health and strength to be alive, the staff and management of WNOV. I'm very, very, very grateful for them. And yeah, man, that's what I'm grateful for.
One more thing, man.
Yes, sir.
Are you excited for this holiday season, man?
I'm most definitely excited.
What's one thing you looking forward to during this holiday
Eating
season?
everything, man. I'm looking forward to eating everything that's out on the table.
Okay.
I'm going to eat everything.
Facts. Perfect. Thank you, man.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Deslin. I'm here at WNOV, and I'm from United Garden Homes, Inc.
So, Deslin, I have a question for you.
Yes.
What holiday memories are you most thankful for?
I'm most thankful for the holiday memories of spending time with my family, my mom, my dad, and all of the Smith and Adams family. Hey, that's what I'm thankful for.
One more question.
Yes.
Is there something you looking forward to this holiday season?
I'm looking for some peace and quiet and family time.
Hello, my name is Johnny L. Jones, one of the founders of Experience MKE, who proudly presents to all the All Black Experience, which is happening 11/29/24. We are also familiar with the All White Experience in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
So, Johnny, how do you show appreciation to your loved ones during the holidays?
I show my appreciation and gratitude toward the loved ones throughout the holiday, well as the year. Pick up the phone, check on people, because you really never know what anyone is going through, and just you reaching out saying hello, how you doing, need anything. You just don't understand sometimes how much that impact other people sometimes.
Hello, I'm Hope Manuel of Milwaukee Hope Initiative.
So Hope, I got a question for you. Sure. What holiday memory are you most thankful for?
Probably the big Christmases we used to have when I was younger. Mm-hmm. All the family was there, all the cousins, my both grandparents were still around, and just riding bikes through the living room that we got that morning for Christmas and just tearing up the house.
Thanks. Well, appreciate you.
Thank you.
Y'all, I'm not playing when I say I don't have my show. I have no computer. I am just sitting here. I did receive a text message. Dr. Williams weighed in, and she said, "Excellent concert!" Exclamation point. Great to hear Adrian Dunn share that he is standing on the shoulders of giants like Roland and Nathan Carter, Dr. Wallace Cheatham's mentors. Also, the cellist is from Milwaukee and received a 3-year college scholarship to DePaul University in Chicago from the Committee for the Promotion of Excellence in Music, which is Dr. Cheatham's board. So that caller, I see you, I'll be right there. So that is actually really cool. And that's the thing that I always lament and talk about, is making sure that our children, when people are stripping down educational programs to the bare bones, we just got reading, writing, math, that those extracurricular activities that frequently keep children invested in school and create opportunities for or different avenues for children to have scholarships to further their education. So many of those opportunities are gone in Milwaukee public schools across the board. You have a few specialty places where you can, see a band of some sort, but it really is a missed opportunity. And I always talk about, and I think about the things that kept me grounded in terms of school and my behavior was I was in the choir, I was in the band, I was a cheerleader. I had all these things going on that were contingent upon good grades, that, a good attitude, teamwork. And these are things that have all benefited me later in life. So yeah, that's the one part that's my biggest frustration. The kind of money that we just did for a referendum, the kind of money that we already spend in Milwaukee Public Schools, and frequently our children have to go to outside organizations like what Dr. Williams and Dr. Cheatham and I see the other sister's face just as good as day. I can't think of her name right now, but what other people have worked to create outside of the district to be able to give our children opportunities. Let me go to the phone line. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Hey, good morning, Michelle.
Good morning.
Good morning, Devo. Good morning, Carvey. I'm calling in. My condolences to the gentleman that called in that lost a loved one in Racine. I'm very familiar with Racine. That's where my family is from.
Okay.
Michelle, I just want to go back in time in history.
Okay.
So this happened. So this is about maybe 72, 73, 74. I was going with a young lady. She was going to school for seamstress. And in the lower level of that building, there was an entrepreneur there. There was an older lady by the name of Miss Johnson. She tailored draperies, some of the most beautiful draperies that I have ever seen. And so along with my girlfriend, we used to go to people that are very fortunate, and I used to hang the drapes for those people. So I just want to give you a little history about what happened in that building 50 years ago on the lower level.
Now, wait, so the building, you're talking about the MSO building
I'm talking about the building where you are right now.
Oh, this building.
Yeah, lower level. Lower level of that building, there was a lady down there that turned out some of the most beautiful drapes that you ever want to see. And so she worked with the furniture stores and she worked with interior designs.
Okay. Like that, I've never heard that before. And I love the historical aspect of it. So I'm definitely gonna ask some more questions and learn more because I never heard that before. Thank you for putting me up on game on that.
Okay, Michelle, you have a great day.
Yes, sir. You too. And you know what? It's funny that he said that because ironically, I have been looking for drapes for the house. And like when I say they don't make drapes like they used to, all these curtains with them little freaking holes in them that you slide on the pole. And I'm like, the good drapes. Oh, I'm sorry, Carvey. Carvey said, because I got some. We got some too. Because you can't find, like, y'all remember, this brother that kicked up a whole moment for me. And it's funny that he said it because the living room curtains, the living room is set up in a way that the windows are so beautiful. And the way it's set up, you don't have to have curtains right there right away. But trying to find beautiful quality drapes, you cannot find them. I've resorted to going online. I've tried to find some of the high-end stores to see what window treatments I could find. Got so frustrated I was about to make my own. But yeah, the quality, oh my God, that just set a room off. Because this mess they sell now, it's a mess. It's a mess. And I just mean in terms of lack of detail, lack of formality, because like when people talk about having a formal living room, formal dining room, you can't go to the store readily and find what you need. My mother, she used to be big on valances in our house. We had all of those. I was like, Ma, if you have one more valance in this house. But she was big on that. But that's just crazy he said that because I literally was just like talking about this the other day because I still have yet to find drapes 4 years later for a house. Still yet to find them. It's irritating. But anyway, okay, so somebody said, Michelle, year-round sports and being in the band kept me in school. I stayed busy. Exactly. Someone else said, I was just having this conversation about programming in MPS. Definitely an important part for students to expand opportunities and experiences. Absolutely. And that was that piece going back to, what we do by way of extracurricular activities, whether or not there's that additional programming. All right. So let me take a minute since we're talking about living and quality of life and, stuff that's going on. So first, let me just say, I was over off of 76 in Brown Deer this weekend. Um, and I passed the Barada property rental office. And I saw, how they have it reminded me of New York because they got the metal like door thing. I mean, the metal thing that you can pull down over the windows. And so, like, literally, it looks impenetrable in terms of the metal things pulled down over the windows to the office. And because that used to be a Chinese restaurant, if I'm not mistaken, that they use for their office space. So anyway, so I'm over there, and I kind of chuckled to myself when I saw it, and I was like, "Yeah, you probably need to have that up there because I'll be surprised if somebody is trying to tear this building up because of the way some of these properties are that they manage and how they got some of these people out here living." I don't know if y'all saw the story that was done. I think that was Nick Bohr who was at the woman's house. And Jesus Christ, they had so many rats. I thought I was going to die looking at the story. Like, I needed to go take a shower.
Was that the one on Wells?
I can't remember the location. I think so, because her family members came to help her.
Right.
And they was like beating the mice dead. First of all, I couldn't be like physically hitting no mouse to kill it. Like, I'm not doing none of that. And it's like what the family had come over and was like basically beating these mice to death.
They
and
were
like
mice.
Rats.
Yeah.
Yes, because they was huge. Mm-hmm. And they showed them like 5 or 6 just on the carpet, Jesus. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh my God, this is the nastiest mess I ever seen. So when I saw Barada with their the metal things over their windows, I said, yeah, y'all need all that.
They probably got tired of replacing them.
I'm telling you, like,
glass,
and I mean, if nobody had, I could see people being so frustrated, like this man who came in last week talking about the heat hadn't been on, and I mean, then no power in the building, just crazy stuff. But we know also that there had been a number of people that had also been complaining about what was going on. Wait, hold on, let me see. Hang on. So somebody said, meanwhile, he is living it up in Mequon. Oh, yeah. That location used to be Security Savings and Loan. Oh, okay. That's how the drive-up windows came to be. I was wondering because I saw it had a sign that said you could drive up. Somebody else said, yeah, those was rats. You could drive up to pay your rent or whatever. And then back on the other topic, somebody said, had it not been for being a hall monitor, captain, vocal ensemble, chorus, basketball and track, I wouldn't have made it through high school. So yeah, that stuff is important when people try to figure out why kids are not engaged, why they're not coming. But okay, so we would love to think that, some of these people that are just trifling. Yeah, it was. The Chinese restaurant is on the other side. It's a church now. I got you. Cause I'm like, no, it was okay. They showing the drone view of the owner's house of Barada Properties. Y'all too much. Okay. Y'all too much. But we would love to think that it's just, privately owned properties where you can sometimes run into a situation with a landlord that, is neglectful of properties, or an outright slumlord in some cases. We also know that there are landlords who work really, really hard to try to make sure that their properties stay nice, that they have quality tenants, that they contribute to a neighborhood and not detract. That's on the private side of stuff. When people start talking about public housing and what we do in terms of, social services, the government, that it should be a different. Well, first of all, everybody should be accountable. Everybody should, treat tenants, treat properties, adhere to the process, try to provide quality living no matter what you're doing. But on the public side of things, when I say what had been going on with the Milwaukee Housing Authority, over the last few years has just been nothing short of crazy. I've watched the protest. I've seen the folks who've talked about the conditions. You just shake your head. And so there has been an announcement that Willie Hines, former Milwaukee Common Council president, in fact, who had been leading the Milwaukee Housing Authority, has said that he is going to retire. Right now, he is scheduled to retire at the end of this month. And I'm looking at the article in the paper because I think that the reporting that was done by Genevieve and Sarah, Genevieve Retson and Sarah Volpine was actually very, very fair and very good. So I'm just going directly from the story. But they talk about the fact that it's marking a controversial end, basically, to his tenure leading the Milwaukee Housing Authority, and that there are thousands of people that depend on this service that the city provides for low income residents. Many of these folks are elderly, disabled, and Willie Hines is someone who has spent the bulk of his career in public service. I don't remember the early days of what he did originally, but I know that he has a long history in public service. Willie Hines, they mentioned at one time, everybody kept talking about, was he going to get in, run for mayor, not run for mayor, run for mayor. All of that was going on. But there had been calls for him to step down over the years. People had been very, very frustrated about what was going on. I thought it was interesting in terms of this article that they chose um, to do kind of like a background piece on Willie Hines Jr. So they opened it up talking about being born to parents that were sharecroppers out of Arkansas, they worked in cotton fields, migrated to Milwaukee in the 50s as teenagers, settled in Milwaukee. And then they give this whole thing, which I think is about softening some of the concerns that have been raised about Hines, to be able to paint the picture that this is a person who has come from parents that were working class parents who struggled to give their family a decent living, people with a good work ethic. So that was the whole framing part of this thing that I kind of thought, like when we talk about the ability of the media to sway or persuade a conversation, to how you talk about it sets up how other people will talk about it. How you report on it sets up how the community will begin to dissect it. They'll start from what you wrote and work out from there. And so I always find it interesting to pay attention to how we see it all the time. In Milwaukee, a child can be a juvenile delinquent, and a child that commits a crime, then the parents are trifling, and blah blah blah. And in the suburbs, it's some other excuse that's made, and the way it's painted, it is not the parents' fault, it's not the child's fault. It just is. So paying attention to how some of this stuff is worded. But either way, so they give this whole background on the fact, of how he came to be, who his folks are. He went to King, went to Marquette, graduated from Marquette, lifelong resident of Milwaukee, home in the Sherman Park neighborhood. So the whole thing, again, to help cement that this is a person of the community who understands what it means for people to need assistance. Okay. They talked about his early career. That's what I was looking for. Worked for former Congressman Jim Moody as a business liaison representative. Later worked as an economic development for the Milwaukee Urban League. He got elected to the Common Council in '96. And how long did he stay? I forgot when he left. He left he became Common Council president in '04. And he did that until I forgot. Let me look and see. Whatever it was. I don't see the date. Not necessarily relevant. But there was one thing that was controversial, that in 2009, Willie Hines backed Barrett's and former Governor Jim Doyle's proposal for a city takeover of Milwaukee Public Schools, which ultimately failed and would have allowed the mayor to choose the school district superintendent. And it's interesting because when you look at the OSPP, that the Opportunity Schools stuff that the Republican Party was trying to do with Milwaukee Public Schools, that would have been a part of it, to take what they said were 55 failing schools or up to 55 failing schools and put them under the control of the mayor. And so it was funny because in 2009, Tom Barrett was offered an opportunity to do that. Tom Barrett wanted to do that. Willie Hines backed that. And the whole measure fails. And then in, what was that, like maybe, oh my God, when was this happening? Maybe 16, 17, maybe was it? Yeah, 17, when the state Republicans were trying to take over MPS. Again, segments of it, quote unquote, the failing schools. Tom Barrett wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. I think a lot of people realize at that point you got a huge base of support from Milwaukee Teachers Education Association, MTEA, WEAC, all these different groups. And so they realized that politically that was the wrong side to be on when you start talking about taking schools from the district and putting them under the auspices of the mayor, and that the mayor would be able to select a superintendent. So that was one thing that, and I saw that they had put it in the article that stood out about Hines's tenure. Hines has served on the board of Housing Authority for nearly 2 decades. By the time he becomes chairman, okay, and officials with HUD objected to Hines's hire at the Housing Authority and forced him to resign because of a conflict of interest rule that requires a year-long break before a board member can become a paid employee of the agency. So this was after he had left the Common Council. And the way they frame it, an ally of former Mayor Barrett, Hines was considered a potential successor, but in 2014, he stepped down from the Common Council to take a job at the Housing Authority as his second in command. And so that was where this whole, drama came in, with the Fed saying, no. He can't be hired at the Housing Authority until there's been at least a year in break, because he used to be a board member. Okay. So a HUD official also questioned whether the hiring process was fair or competitive, pointing to other candidates who were rejected without any reason given. In addition, the HUD official said, quote, Hines does not seem to possess the requisite qualifications as required by the Milwaukee Housing Authority's own job description. This was all reported back in 2014. They also pointed out that Hines was the board chair when the Housing Authority failed to comply with federal regulations on hiring low-income workers for an $82 million affordable housing renovation project. So they're saying, like, look, we was worried about, qualifications. We were worried that under his leadership as the board chair, that things that were supposed to be done to empower low-income residents to get money in folks' pockets on this $82 million project didn't happen at the rate or the manner in which they thought it should. In the end, Hines waited until 2015 to start in the Housing Authority's number 2 position, okay? In 2021, he becomes the man at the Housing Authority. So these calls for him to step down, an estimated 15,000 Milwaukee residents receive help from the Housing Authority. I mean, in terms of low-income affordable housing, you're talking about 15,000 Milwaukee area residents. They administer more than $40 million a year in rent assistance and manage about 5,200 rental homes, most of them reserved, again, for low-income, elderly, or disabled residents. But for the past year, there's been a whole bunch of drama about what's been going on in these units, the quality conditions, the responsiveness of the administration. And so people started to organize. The group Common Ground comes in. They help to organize the residents who have talked about poor, unsanitary conditions inside these buildings, criticized billing errors, erroneously showing that they had not paid their rent when in fact they had. In some cases, it even led to people being evicted or given eviction notices. And people just talk about like the stress that folks were under when you paid your rent, somebody telling you didn't, and then giving you a eviction notice. And folks are like, wait, what are you talking about? And it's low income. So where am I going to go and find similarly priced housing, in this amount of time, if at all? So last year, there ended up being 2 federal audit reports that were done. And they talked about, quote, risk for serious fraud, waste, and abuse that was inside the housing authority. And the way they frame it in the article, they said inside his agency that became public. So it's his agency because I guess it's under his leadership. In late 2022, the auditors found more than $3 million in unexplained variances in the housing authority's bank balance. Piles of unsorted tenant paperwork, some stacked 5 feet high. I am 5'7". They said that there was piles of unsorted tenant paperwork, some stacked as high as 5 feet, lining the rent assistance program office. In the wake of those audits, the Public Housing Agency was ordered by the feds to outsource management of its rent assistance program to an outside vendor. Public housing residents have raised concerns about hazardous conditions inside that included mold, gun violence, rodent and bug infestations. So the article talks about why is Willie Hines finally stepping down. And Hines said, quote, there's a time and a season for everything. And as a result, my time at the housing authority has come to an end. He told a reporter he is eligible for his city pension after turning 60 years old this year. As the housing authority's top executive, Hines was among the highest paid public officials in the state. In 2023, he was paid $252,000, $82,000 more than is currently made by the mayor of Milwaukee, and $86,000 more than the governor of the state of Wisconsin. But you got all these challenges. Caller, I see you. I'm coming. So I don't know what happens now. I don't know, if they interview somebody else and they ultimately will get to come and, try to turn the ship around. Somebody just texted and said ridiculous. Yeah. I mean, because this is the thing. Like, why wasn't this stuff being done? Are you short-staffed? Is it just, general management incompetence? I mean, I literally just had a conversation with somebody and I was telling people, I said, when you have a workstation and a work environment, people get an idea or a sense of your capabilities based on what your workspace looks like. If I were to come into a room and see 5 feet, in some cases, of paperwork regarding tenants stacked, somebody was getting let go after you fixed this, because that's crazy. But I don't know the backstory. I don't know all the details. I know that Common Ground coming to help organize and work with these residents, I'm sure made a huge difference in getting some movement for them. I don't know how many people have been harmed though, and some of the harm has been irreparable. I I don't know that either. Let's go to the phone line real quick. Hey, caller, what's happening?
I know a lot of people gonna get mad. It's low income. Sometimes in low income, they do not enforce a standard. Sometimes they do not do a monthly, where they come check every month. Sometimes they don't do that because I know you brought up certain things about our neighborhoods. Some of our neighborhoods also need standards to be enforced because some of them are straight nasty. But I want to ask you, when you leave, go to Russell Stanford District. Drive down Tatonia, turn down Hadley, and go down like 16th, 17th, 18th, 19th. And some of those houses are owned by out of town companies, but some of them comes from those renters. If no standard is enforced, things are going to turn out certain ways. Like, there's no excuse you're going to have a garbage can and an old pickup truck by the back door, and you got garbage, tampons, used condoms, chicken boxes, all kind of garbage all through the neighborhood. So good, you got to keep in mind, even though it's low income, sometimes they don't enforce standards, and that is not how Black people supposed to live. So I just wanted to share that with you. But just drive through that neighborhood when you leave.
All right, thank you. I
Okay, have a
appreciate
good
it.
one.
You too now. I got another caller. Hey, caller, what's happening? Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
What I'm calling about is I recall a long time ago I think when Hines was the chair, and he wouldn't allow any of the audience to ask questions or make any statements. And so he was about to close the meeting, and I just shouted, I want this to go on record that you refuse to allow the people who pay your salary to come and ask questions of whatever the nature was. It was so long ago. But that's the type of thing that nobody seemed to challenge that. And that's why we had the problem we had with what was happening with the city. And that's why I want to share that with you, because I think it's ridiculous. It came back to me. It was happening so long ago, I can't remember exactly what day.
Okay.
But it should be on record in one of the meetings.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. I appreciate the call. Somebody else texted and they said, in reference to Willie Hines, he was also the alderman for the 15th district and did not address one issues that his constituents and a bunch of mad emoji faces. Please let the people know how much he was making as a director. I mentioned that. Also never answered his phones with no responses. Somebody else said, this is about who we vote for. Having accountable people in important positions. It sounds similar to the school board situation. But we got to understand, at least in this case, you don't vote for the housing authority. That the way he got that job was through a very different process. In terms of the school board, definitely, those are votes that need to be had. We need to find out who is running for school board appointments, to the conversations we've had earlier last week about what was going on with MPS. But, excuse me, I just don't understand on so many levels, because you have a team of people working for you that are there to help get this stuff done. It's not like you got to do it yourself. You just got to manage it. You just got to oversee it. Make sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to. And I'm like, did you work in the same building with the folks that had the paperwork stacked 5 feet high? And I'm sure that wasn't the situation in every area. There are some people very diligent about the way they do their work. But, like, what did you see and hear that you felt like it didn't get addressed? We met just as a staff with Lena to talk about calls that had come in, what had been done with each of those calls. Everybody had a department that they was responsible for, and you had to be able to run back to her. We had to show notes that we had entered into the system to be able to say that we had addressed the constituents' concern. Like, the way she ran the office, you weren't going to get a whole bunch of room not to do your damn job. And so if I'm making this kind of money, I'm definitely feeling, more accountable in terms of providing a quality service. Let me go to the phone line. Hey, caller, what's happening?
What's up? How you be?
I'm good, bro. How are you today?
Hey, I'm rolling today. So
Not rolling.
it's a beautiful day. Hey, hi all you beautiful souls that hear me, and you ugly ones too. How y'all be?
See.
Hey, I wanted to bring up maybe some of that money is paying for all these ugly little boulders dude using the. Hey,
Oh, you talking
isn't
about
that kind
Barada?
of? I want to understand. Me looking, I was taking pictures of dude's stuff since he had some workers riding around with the noose around a black never mind. Hey, yeah, why are these boulders and whose district is this? These are questions that I'm asking some of the people who know these answers. Uh, the boulders, I don't like them. They ugly, and then I'm wondering what are they for? And
Well,
then he has them on all the properties.
yeah.
Then he making a whole certain side of town, and I'm wondering why is he allowed to make a conglomerate or get all these together? Didn't they break up the phone business because it had a certain lot? This dude is doing that to all these renters, Section 8, and people of a certain income. I think those people usually are the most obedient and peaceful and know how to live. They stay out of the people's business unless it affects them. And then the way that this dude is rolling with it, how he handled them, and then like you said, all that is backed up. What happened to the African relay of a message? I run so many distance and I hand it to you. You run so much distance and hand it to the next. Now, if the other people don't get it, somebody has it, and somebody. Aren't we supposed to find out why? Who's in order to receive this stuff and until it gets to being taken care of or addressed? Okay, let me get off of that. Hey, y'all stay beautiful. We the best that's on the planet. And take a deep breath and look at somebody and smile.
All right. Thank you, bro. Appreciate the call.
I love that nose.
Bye, man. So a couple of things I'll just quickly say. I am someone back on Barada. We rocking back and forth between these two things. So a couple of things about Barada. Number one, that I have now noticed with these boulders. So it looks like many of the boulders are dropped on the properties right when they start working on them. And over time, and time being months and months, they begin to line around the building, like landscaping with many of those boulders, because you can then see dirt going in, a couple of, pieces of brush going in, like not brush, but bushes, uh, you know, landscaping stuff, some low level, not trees, but bushes, going in. So that's the one thing I have figured out is that many of those boulders were not going to stay where they were. That if you go and you ride past some of his properties, you will definitely see that they've moved the boulders up against the facade of the building and started doing some makeshift landscaping. The pergolas is what irritates my soul. And that's what he uses over the tops of the buildings, the entranceway. I know that after some complaining, he had begun to change it a bit because initially it was just a pergola. And so if you were trying to stand at the door to put your key in, the snow, the rain, everything just falling on your head. And I'm like, dude, where you think we live? This is not the Saharan desert. You know, we need something to protect people from the elements. So I remember it was one of the things, every opportunity I had to complain about it, I did because I just thought it was ridiculous. Where? Oh my God. It's, you know,
Just look out the window. It's
yeah, it
one
really
sitting right
is
yonder.
one right behind me. That's the building where dude said the heat was off.
No,
Or the power.
He's over here.
Over here.
Because he got all of these over here too.
Oh, okay.
All
So
Lee Holloway's old buildings.
Yeah. So, but the other thing I will say, I've heard this. I don't know how true it is, but I have been told this, that the city also reaches out to Barada to buy properties that are on, that's a part of their inventory, because they want to move some of this stuff out of the city's, trying to manage it, deal with it. They want to get rid of some of it. Now, I don't know how true that is, but I've been told that multiple times.
It
that
makes sense though, Michelle, because it gets on the tax roll.
Yeah, that definitely, these are properties I don't have to try to worry about maintaining as well. And so I've heard that the city engages him.
Yeah,
So
they
it's
just got a
not
line of
just
credit with the city anyway. They'll just give him the building, let him go in there and work it and what have you. But
so
he's terrible.
When we start talking about it, we got to understand there is some kind of relationship there with him in the city. What else was I going to say? I forgot. Okay, let me go to the phone line. Hey, caller, what's happening? Hello.
Good morning. I was hoping to make a comment.
Good morning.
Oh, is this Michelle?
Yes, it is.
Good morning. So I was curious if you had heard that they're trying to pass a bill where they're going to send Great Lakes water because the Colorado River has dried up. I was just curious if y'all heard about that.
That they were going to send Great Lakes water where?
He hung up.
Okay, so
he said because the Colorado River has dried up.
I know, but where? So because the Colorado River.
I mean, I guess whoever was utilizing the Colorado River.
Let's see. I will look for that real quick. Got another caller. Let's get them in. Hey, caller, what's happening? Hello. All right.
Ray Mack, you there?
Nope. So I will look for the whole piece on the Great Lakes water. I'll make a note for that and see, because I won't be surprised. Colorado. Okay, we got another caller. We good? Okay. All right. So let me do this. A couple of other things that are top of mind. So anyway, now we got to see moving forward what happens with the housing authority, how those things are impacted. We got to pay attention to what's getting ready to happen with the new administration coming in and how some of those things are going to be treated. When I tell y'all right now, we in a real precarious situation. Things are really kind of iffy. That's probably the understatement of the year. Let me take a break, and when we come back, I want to talk just a bit about some of the things that are on the horizon for us. Be right back, y'all.
WNOV 860 AM and 106.5 FM, also known as The Voice, has been a central figure in Milwaukee's African American community for
I'm Stephen Hopkins, Program Manager for Critical Response Team. I'm at WNOV right now.
So, Stephen, what's something simple that you're thankful for today?
Being alive and free.
One more question.
Yes, sir.
Is there something you're looking forward to this holiday season?
Seeing my loved ones and, spending some time with them.
Perfect.
Amen.
Hey, I'm Deslyn. I'm here at WNOV, and I'm from United Garden Homes, Inc.
So, Deslyn, I have a question for you.
Yes.
What holiday memories are you most thankful for?
I'm most thankful for the holiday memories of spending time with my family, my mom, my dad, and all of the Smith and Adams family. Hey, that's what I'm thankful for.
One more question.
Yes.
Is there something you're looking forward to this holiday season?
I'm looking for some peace and quiet and family time.
Give me some of that.
What's up? It's Jamiroquai Killer with the Black Policy Initiative. I'm here at WNOV.
Yo, Jamiroquai. So, what's one thing you've learned this year that you're thankful for?
And one thing I learned that I'm thankful for is to not be prideful and to not think about myself all the time. You know, I want to spend next year pouring into everybody else except for me, because when I give to others, it always come back.
Can you share a time when you share love to someone?
Man, every day. Every
Right.
day, you
Right.
know, I got a lot of people around me that help fuel my fire and help make me better. And I want to keep them around. I want to keep them energized because I need them. And so I try to give it back to them every single chance I get.
Hello, my name is Johnny L. Jones, one of the founders of Experience MKE, who proudly presents to all the All Black Experience, which is happening 11/29/24. We are also familiar with the All White Experience in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
So, Johnny, how do you show appreciation to your loved ones during the holidays?
I show my appreciation and gratitude toward the loved ones throughout the holiday, well as the year. Pick up the phone, check on people, because you really never know what anyone is going through, and just you reaching out saying hello, how you doing, need anything. You just don't understand sometimes how much that impact other people sometimes.
Hello, I'm Hope Manuel of Milwaukee Hope Initiative.
So Hope, I got a question for you. Sure, what holiday memory are you most thankful for?
Probably the big Christmases we used to have when I was younger. All the family was there, all the cousins, you know, my both grandparents were still around, and you know, just riding bikes through the living room that we got that morning for Christmas and just tearing up the house.
Thanks. Well, appreciate you.
Thank you.
This version. For Christmas.
Watch out there now.
Al
Watch out there
Green,
now.
no.
If only in my dream.
I mean, I was listening to Christmas music last night.
Wait.
Wait, what?
Wait, let me do this. You
What?
messed me all up. I had it all set up. Messed me all up. Yeah, right here.
And now, back to Michelle Bryant on 860 AM and 106.5 FM, WNOV, The Voice.
Oh, well, that's new. Well, thank you. Wonderful. But yeah, as I said, I was listening to Christmas music last night, and I had heard some stuff by In Vogue and Al Green, and it was just artists, you know, you'll always hear in rotation. And so I was like, okay, I had me a good time last night. Is this caller up now? Let's try it. Let's go to the phone line. Had a caller held through the break, see if we can get them in. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Hey, how y'all doing this morning?
Good. How are you?
All right. It's like taboo with like Willie Hines and the Hines family, like his brother out there. It's all taken and no give. But I'm gonna get off of that because he's been like that ever since he was an alderman. But Rada, can somebody answer me this question? when do they bring these doggone rocks in? Because I don't see no truck bringing no rocks in.
I
Just all of a sudden just drop down.
know.
I
You
just
are
don't understand.
so right. Oh my God.
I listen, but I never see a truck bring a rock in.
You are so right. You are so right, bruh. Oh my God. I have never said that out loud, but I swear to God, I was like, where? Because somebody sent me a text literally this morning saying, Barada owned a rock quarry. I'm like, whatever. I never see them being delivered. Never see the trucks. So that's an excellent question. No, that's too funny. I'm so glad to know I wasn't the only person thinking that because that is crazy. All right. So let me just say this real quick. There have been a ton of conversations. One of the callers said it. I'm sorry, one of the people that texted me said, this is where voting matters. When we were talking about the housing authority, all the different challenges that we face, this is where voting matters. One of the things that I have been watching, and I've been kind of reserved on how much I'm saying about some of these Trump nominees because I don't think that some of the more controversial picks, I am concerned. I shouldn't say I'm concerned. I don't believe that some of these people are going to get through. Matt Gaetz being weeded out was no shock, no surprise to me. So to spend a lot of energy on it, I just didn't want to do it. I think, though, that it's necessary because it shows judgment or lack thereof on Trump's part about who he's willing to put over these governmental agencies and the danger that's being created by some of these picks and these appointments. It was interesting too. I thought about the conversation I had with Meech last week, and we were going back and forth, and he was talking about the crypto currency and wanting to make sure that our folks was up on Bitcoin and how you can make money and da 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 da. And I said, in my conversation with him, but tell me about the other aspects of it all, about why this upcoming term of Donald Trump will be beneficial to Black people. And I didn't get anything beyond the crypto currency conversation. And, I talked about representation. And there was like literally for me, like this crazy moment when during that conversation, he said, I don't care about the representation. And I was like, wait a minute, you mean you don't care about whether or not anybody in the room is Black? Whether or not anybody in the room is there to represent our interests and our perspectives? Like that's not relevant. And so someone, Faith Colas has shared with me this document that she has seen about Joe Biden and the number of Black female judges that he had given lifetime appointments to during his term in office. I think there were like 39 lifetime federal appointments, Black female judges. And it made me go back and just think about, because one of my sorority sisters had one of her appointments given to her by Trump and one given by Biden. And she's a federal judge, one of my line sisters. And so one of the things that I went back just to go look at, just because I was just kind of curious, and I was trying to remember because I knew I had saw the data. When somebody tells you that representation, is not important to them. During Donald Trump's first tenure, he had the smallest amount of minorities appointed to the federal bench. And when I say 84% of Donald Trump's appointments to the federal bench were white people. 84%. All other minorities, Black, Hispanic, Asian, any other race or ethnicity that you want, comprise the remaining 16%. So if you break that down, that could be 3% Black, 2% Asian, 4% Hispanic. I have to go dig deeper to get what those numbers. Oh, wait. There it is. There it is. So Trump appointed 226 judges. 189 were white, 9 were black, 9 were Hispanic, 13 were Asian, and 6 were other. So out of 226 judges, Donald Trump only appointed 37 people of color. Obama had 320 appointments. 205 were white, 58 were black, 31 Hispanic, 17 Asian, 9 other. He had a total of 115, or 36% of his judicial appointments were people of color. George Bush, 322 judges that he appointed. 264 were white, 24 were black, 30 were Hispanic, 4 were Asian, for a total of 58 judges of color, or 18%. And I'll just do Bill Clinton. Clinton did 367 judicial appointments, 277 white, 61 black, 23 Hispanic, 5 Asian, 1 other, for a total of 90, or 25% were people of color. And let's just look at good old Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan did 358 judicial appointments. Let me say this again. Ronald Reagan did 358 judicial federal appointments. 335 of the 358 were white. 7 were black, 14 Hispanic, 2 Asian. So he did 23 people of color and 335 white folks. So when you start talking about going to court and who we see, and people was all with Kamala Harris was a prosecutor. So don't nobody want to see black judges. I guess it doesn't matter if we see black prosecutors. You only need to be a black public defender. You can't be a prosecutor to be able to cut the deals and decide the charging. And we don't want the person with the real power in terms of who's making the charging decisions to be black. We don't want them to be black. We don't want the judges to be black. Because when you have somebody that says something so ignorant as, I don't care about representation. Did you hear what I just said by way of these numbers? By way of these numbers. So Donald Trump has the lowest numbers other than Reagan and Daddy Bush Sr. Reagan only appointed 6% of judges that were non-white. Daddy Bush appointed 10% of judges that were non-white. And Trump appointed 16% of judges that were non-white. Obama appointed the most judges of color of any U.S. president that we've ever had. Representation matters, y'all. And somebody sitting up saying, I just want the policy. I just want to know about, what kind of money we gonna get. It's like, do you understand that people making decisions every day about your life? This man controls who's gonna be at the table. And right now, outside of the place they send all Negroes to die, HUD, I've yet to hear about any real black folks playing in this administration on any significant level. Let me go to the phone line. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Hey, good morning. You just had to throw my name in the mix, didn't you?
No, I just had to go back and circle back on what you said last week.
Then you insulted me.
How did I insult you?
You said I'm ignorant, but that's okay. I'll deal with that. It's okay.
Did I say you were ignorant, or did I say the comment was ignorant? I think I said the comment.
Well, I know, but the way you framed it. But it's okay, though, because we buddies anyway, so it don't make no difference. I might say something. But listen, you kept asking me the question, what does Donald Trump did other than the crypto? Listen, the man ain't even in office. What I'm simply saying, is the people. It ain't Donald Trump. It's the people with the big money that's believing in this cat's politics, believing in his go for it. So therefore, we have to follow that, or else we're going to miss the boat again. Watch where it's going. Follow that. Get involved if you can. Now, you made another statement. You said about the appointment of people. Let me say something to you. It wasn't that I meant that we don't need any representation, but just look at Willie Hines. Look at your boy Chevy downtown. This is the problem that we have with identity politics. Two dangerous things. Nobody should forget these. Entitlement and justification. When you feel entitled to a position, then whatever you do, you justify it in your mind. You justify doing it to the people. These guys are very dangerous. So sometimes when you use identity politics, the stuff that we get in the room is bad. If you look across this whole country, our inner cities are dying. It's not dying because of no reason. It's dying because we are in office, and guess what? We're the majority in that community. Now, if you take a white boy and put him in the community, and guess what? Don't let him get too bedded down in the community with the people. You know what happens? Then we begin to rise again. When we use identity politics, we come in.
So let me do this, because first of all, we're gonna stop using identity politics incorrectly, because everybody uses identity politics. The biggest purveyor of identity politics is white people. They're the biggest. And they've turned it into something that most people think Black, Hispanic, Latino, people of color when they say identity politics. White folks are the biggest users of identity politics on the face of the earth.
I agree, but hold on. It's dangerous. No, you're 100% right. But guess what? It's dangerous with us because we use those two words I just said, justification and entitlement. See that when you
those are the same two words they use. They feel justified in
if I let you get away with that. If I let you get away with that, then I will let them become superior over us. I can't do that.
They do the exact same thing. They invented it, bruh. Justification. They invented it.
Listen, I agree with you, but if I go along and allow and harp on that and give it to the people to eat, I'm giving them essentially poison to eat. I'm for the people. And guess what? In some cases, we have just look. You see what they did? Why do you think that the war on drugs worked so well? Why do you think the government we were able to be addicted? Even to today, it's still working. Because you know what they did? They sent us into the community, and we talked about churches on every community, a liquor store on every corner. So what do? You wipe away the liquor store. When you get ready to start a new business, you want all the competition out of the way, right? Alcohol trumps every drug in the world. Alcohol is accepted, it's powerful, it's potent, it's government regulated in most cases, and it's safe in most cases. Now check this out. You move alcohol out of the way, and then drugs, heroin, cocaine, everything else got a free run. You limited your alcohol. You bring your alcohol into even Wisconsin, Milwaukee, cut it down to 9 o'clock. So guess what? Your alcohol is out the way. Don't give licenses to the people in the community where they can thrive. Give it to somebody else. They take that money and build houses with it. You level the playing field. Sorry about that. You trump the playing field by getting rid of the number one contender, which is alcohol. You get rid of that, and then all this other stuff have a free reign. This is the kind of stuff that we deal with in our cities all across the country because we put us in charge. Now you put a white boy in charge.
No. And I got other callers, so I'm going to end it.
Let me
no problem.
Let me let you go.
But let me just say this, because we put us in charge. But if you put white boys in charge, you get something else. Let me be clear. Half of the time when you see us in charge, white men are behind it. White men have picked that's what I say all the time. That's what I used to say. That's what I said even about Mandela. And y'all get mad and y'all can stay mad. But white people have systematically tried to pick our leaders for us. Follow the money. That's all you have to do. Who's putting up the money for these people to run for these positions? It's not black folks. If you look at the black folks that get into some of these positions, while they may have had a job and to be an elected official, they weren't nobody high on the pecking order or the totem pole. They was just a regular cat. And then white men come along and say, you know what? We're going to make you a leader. And then we're going to put all our dollars and our resources behind making you a leader. And then we clear the playing field so that the community has nobody to pick from but A or B. Just like I said in the Mandela race, it was 5-6 people in that race, and we watched people be systematically pressured out of the race to clear the path for Mandela, because white folks had decided that he was going to be the heir apparent, or he was going to be the person that they would send into the Senate. That wasn't about black folks saying this our dude. Out of all of the people you could vote for, you could think of who could have been a great U.S. senator, all the black people got together and said, oh, of course, Mandela. That didn't happen. That was white people nonsense, and white women in particular. And then white boys follow suit. So then they cleared a pathway and forced Sarah Galuski out, forced Alex Lasry out, forced other folks out, so that now you have no other options but Mandela. That's the only option you have. Before we could even get through the primary good, they had started clearing the pathway. In the primary, other people, Alex Lasry did well. Could have did well. I mean, like, these people could have did well. So, you know, when you say black folks get into office and then look what black folks do, it's true when they say all skin folk ain't your kinfolk. That's true. But you also have to follow the money. And you will find that it is usually white men who have picked black people to be in office. And then they put all of their resources behind those individuals. And then you get bombarded with mailers and commercials. And then people are like, well, that's the only person I heard from. That's the only person I know about. And so that's who you end up voting for. We watch it all the time. Excuse me. We watch it all the time. So we got to be careful. Just because you see black people in office, that don't mean that that was a mandate from black people. That's who was selected for us. And the people who did the selecting didn't look like us. They decided who was palatable, who was acceptable, who they could stomach, who they felt like they could work with. You don't start putting this kind of money in campaigns just because you feel like doing something that feel good. Come on now, be smarter than that. That's why there was a concerted effort to keep Lena Taylor out of the mayor's office. That's why. And so you see where all the money lines up and the donors line up and who's talking and who's endorsing. That's why. That's why it's easy, you know, in part, not all, but for Malele Cox not to be the Common Council president. Because you see where the business community and different powerful players line up. And folks start hedging their bets about where can I do best? That's the one part I just wish we would be smarter about. And we go to the polls thinking, oh, I'm voting for my candidate. This was my guy. No, you voting for who they gave you to vote for, who they chose for you. And it wasn't even really who they chose for you. It was who they chose for themselves. As I said, who do I want to work with? Who do I feel like I, can have a degree of influence and sway with? Who do I feel like, because the other part of it, if we don't help put people in office, we don't get to have a lot of sway with them people. Money talk, volunteer hours, shoe leather on the ground, all that makes a difference. And I'm going to say it again. How many people listening to my voice have ever donated a dime to a candidate? yet alone do it on a regular basis, yet alone support multiple candidates, not just your friend or just the one or two you like, but strategically across the board, put your money and spread your money around to be able to help people get into office. We don't do that. White boys do that. White men do that. Let me go to the phone line. Hey, caller, what's happening? Hello? All right, let's go to the next caller. Hey, caller, what's happening? Hello? All right, so I will continue to say we have to have a seat at the table. You know, all of us that are in the room, there will be some of us that will show up with Black interest at heart, that will be paying attention to what we're doing. Because right now, when they talk about what Donald Trump is planning, you know, he getting ready to come in and take care of all them January 6th white protesters. He getting ready to take care of all of them. They getting ready to all get pardoned. That's why he can only say so much about Joe Biden. Because Trump he been taking care of his people, and he gonna keep taking care of his people. Even folks that whooped up on police officers, that tore up the Capitol, that was talking about hanging Mike Pence, they have rewritten the narrative to make these people some kind of heroes. Now we call them the cute name, the J6ers, as they got the J6 choir, you know, as opposed to the damn criminals that they were. Because we already know initially they tried to say that those were Antifa marchers tearing up the crowd. But Antifa is supposed to be Black. So it's hard to keep saying Antifa when all the faces you showing is white folks tearing up the U.S. Capitol. So they had to finally get up off of that lie. Oh, I don't know, but I don't know who was in the crowd, but I believe it might have been Antifa. I think that's what I heard. It was some Antifas up in there. You an Antifa lie. You know, there was white folks that was Republicans. Period. Period. Representation and what we are doing makes a difference. So the other thing, what's going on in Syria right now in relationship to the rebels rising up against the government that had been in place for the last 50 years and saying, nah, we ain't had enough. Getting ready to destabilize the region. Russia has taken in the former president over in Syria or dictator Bashir al-Assad and brought him, al-Assad, and brought him over like you can seek refuge here. But Vladimir Putin understand you can only keep your foot on somebody's neck for so long. And Israel needs to pay attention. All of these countries that choose to lead in this restrictive, way in which people have no freedoms and are expected to just be subservient to another group, just bow down. You can only stay bowed for so long before people start rising up. And that's what we saw happening in Syria. And now people are like, oh my God, what's going to happen? This new group, the rebels, we're worried that they, may be on some nonsense too. But the people in Syria are like, yeah, okay. But for right now, your boy is up out of here. But it took 50 years. It took a long time. But every dog got their day. And some got two. I say it all the time. Let me go to the phone line. Hey, caller, what's happening? Hello?
Hello, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you this morning?
Just want to do two things, Michelle. This is John Henry. You know, when you was talking about the Mandela thing, so what do we end up with, though? I mean, you said that we ought to be able to have politicians that engage with us. So I have to ask you, does Ron Johnson engage with you?
So my point, which will continue to be my point, is not on the back end, but it's on the front end, where people are pushed out of races unfairly and not allowed to compete fairly. And
Michelle, I understand
as
that.
long as we do that, we will continue to lose or have problems when we don't allow the process to play fairly. So yes, while I appreciate the back end of having a Ron Johnson in office, if we don't take a stand and make our position known about how stuff happens on the front end, it will continue to happen to us.
Yeah, but me myself, and I'm speaking for myself. I'm not speaking for none of your listeners or anybody. But when I looked at the big picture, and I said, okay, it's going to come down to these two choices: Mandela or Ron Johnson. Now, no, Ron Johnson wasn't going to go for the two things that were critically important to me: the George Floyd bill and the Voting Rights Act. And he didn't. Okay, even though Mandela may have been a puppet, as you say, or whatever, those are two bills that he would have went for, I believe. And now, when you look at it now, we would still have Mandela and we would still have Tammy Baldwin sitting up there in the Senate to block off these Republicans in their efforts. So,
and we still have people picking
but
our candidates for us.
I just want to finish. Sometimes the way it's looking now, Michelle, is we got to play dirty like they are, because they're playing dirty and getting away with everything.
I see. I hear you.
All of us keep being nice and keep taking it on the chin and let's make this work the way it's supposed to. It ain't working for us. Look at what Donald Trump.
But you know what? But I'm gonna just say,
himself with criminals.
But I'm going,
deplorables for his cabinet.
But I'm going to continue to say, I don't want to become what they are. I don't want to be those people. And so if I don't want to be those people, then I don't act like those people. And I don't care how awful this gets. I'm not going to become and behave in the way that they do. I'm not going to be dirty.
I'm not saying become one of them. I'm saying beat them at their own game.
I appreciate being strategic. I do.
Yeah, I'm saying
but we are fighting more than one fight. That's my point. We're fighting them and we're fighting us. We're fighting Republicans and Democrats.
Okay.
As black people, we fighting two fights.
Yeah, okay. And I want to change it up to one other thing about Meach. And this is for the listeners. Every time Meach calls in, and he talks about he's for the people and for the black, he's lying. So everybody, when Meach calls in, think of yourself as chickens, and he's Colonel Sanders, because you know what Colonel Sanders do with chickens. Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate it. Yeah, and I respect the position of the brother. We have gone back and forth before about this, but I am just hell bent on, look, we fight multiple fights as black people politically. We fight within the Democratic Party structure, and we fight outside of it. And we always take one for the team. Black people are always asked to take one for the team over and over again. I've had a front row seat at us. Well, yep, this is not what you guys wanted, or maybe even what, but it's going to help all of us in the end. Take one for the team. Take one for the team. At some point, you take a knee. Even though it is now, the writing is on the wall, it's going to cost me my professional career. But I believe so strongly in what I'm talking about that I stay on my knee. 6-7 years later, I'm out of the league. But I believed in what my fight was about. Sometimes you take the fight on the front end. Every time we acquiesce and say, well, right now we just got to move the ball for the party. We got to move the ball for everybody. We got to move the ball. All we do is become complicit in the abuse or the taking advantage of or the unfair play that's leveled against us. That's why, even though I didn't agree with a lot of things that happened, for the folks that said they were uncommitted in relationship to Palestine and America and Israel, I'd listen to some of them people say my exact words. You can't keep scaring me about the outcome. Right is right and wrong is wrong. 40,000 plus people dead. And people feel like we can justify that to get to the end. We can't. Either way, Black folks have got to figure out where our political power lies and to get people in office that are earnestly going to be there, not just for the greater good, but also for our individual good. We can't just keep sending puppets for white boys to make decisions on our behalf. I got to go. Talk to y'all tomorrow. Carvey, Debo, appreciate you, bros.
Get ready for the moment we've all been waiting for. It's the 300K